In this video, we will talk about security architecture in D365 F&O, how to set up role-based security and manage users' access to sensitive data. During this video, we will demonstrate how finance and operations help you keep your sensitive data safe and users focused on their roles. In particular, we will demonstrate how to manage your users, how to manage your security roles, how to apply segregation of duties, run security reports, and customize security to fit the requirements of your business. Let's look at security architecture in D365 F&O. Security architecture in D365 adopts role-based security model. The security model is hierarchical. It consists of the following elements: roles, duties, privileges, permissions. Each element in this hierarchy represents different level of details. Access is granted to security roles, not to the individual users. So user who is assigned the security role has access to the set of duties and privileges that belongs to that role. User who is not assigned any role has no privilege. User must be assigned to at least one security role to have access to finance and operations. Important concept of the role-based security model can be summarized as following. Users are assigned to security roles based on their responsibilities in the organization and their participation in the business process. The administrator grants access to the duties that users in a role perform, not to the program elements that users must use. So let's look at each element in this hierarchy. Duty. Duty corresponds to the part of the business process. Administrator assigns duties to security roles, and duties consist of privileges. A privilege specifies a level of access that is required to perform a job, solve a problem, or complete an assignment. Each privilege contains permissions. Permissions specify access to individual application objects, such as user interface elements, entry points like menu items and buttons, and also access to tables. For example, the cancel payment privilege contains permissions to the menu item fields and tables that are required to cancel payments. One of the main advantages of the role-based security model is that because rules can be set up for automatic role assignment, the administrator does not have to involve every time that a user responsibility change. After security role and rules has been set up, business managers can control day-to-day user access based on the business requirements only. For example, employee gets promotion on the specified date and HR manager can simply set the new position for the employee in a system. An appropriate security role will automatically be assigned on a specified date. So let's go into the application and make a small demo. As discussed, roles are aligned with business process and business structure. Users are typically assigned to a security role based on their responsibility in organization and their participation in the business process. System administrators assign users to roles by going to Main menu, System Administration, Security, Assign users to roles. On the left-hand side of this form, you can see the list of roles and you can filter. And on the right-hand side, two sides of the form. Rules for dynamic assignment of users to role and users assigned to role right now. So you can see in this example, accountant role has 4 users assigned: user ID, username, and alias, which is the user email address typically. If it was a manual assignment by administrator, it will say manual. However, system administrator can set up a rule which will be used to automatically assign users to security roles when some event happens. Another way to assign users to roles is by going to System Administrations, Users. Here we have the list of users. We pick one of the users. Let's pick Alicia. Open it up. And here in the bottom we can see all the current user roles assigned to Alicia. Click Assign Roles and pick any additional role we want to assign to Alicia. For example, Manager. And now Alicia got the manager role. In addition to role assignment, you can assign organizations. Assigning organizations to roles is a way to restrict user access to a specific company. For example, Alicia has her default company set to USMF. And maybe for some of her roles, we want her to be able to access only USMF company. To do so, we go to Assign Organizations, By default, grant access to all organizations is selected, which means Alicia will have access to all company accounts within the system. In order to restrict access to any specific company account, we need to switch to grant access to a specific organization individually, and then select any specific organization, in this case USMF, Contoso Entertainment, and click Grant. Here in the bottom we can see legal entity, Contoso Entertainment, organization ID USMF. Access has been granted. Now click Save and Close. Repeat the same step for any other roles that may need the same restriction. Let's look into security configuration. Go to System Administration, Security, Security Configuration. Here we have a list of all available in the system security roles. Sample roles are provided by the system out of the box. All functionality in D365 is associated with at least one of the sample security roles. In this form, we can see each role and what it consists of. So let's pick an accountant, for example. Click on the duties, and it opens up the list of all the duties associated with this role. Pick any duty, maintain cash accounts, for example, and it will show you all the privileges that are associated with this duty. Click on the privileges, and you'll get the list of privileges in here. Select one of those, and you will see the list of AOT objects associated with the current privilege. For example, action menu item, display menu items, tables, other roles, etc. So look on the display menu items. Here is one of the menu items, and if you click on that, you can even see what sort of access is granted to that particular menu item within this privilege. This form can be used to make any changes to the roles, move the privileges, assign different duties, or change the permission. However, standard practice would be to make a copy of the role and then make any required changes and leave the standard roles as is. It's worth mentioning that each security artifact in this form, security configuration form, has also the AOT, associated AOT object. Like for example, in this case, accountant security role would be named ledger accountant in EOT, which means you can do developments through the Visual Studio in order to modify this. Let me quickly switch to the Visual Studio. And if I go and find that role in here, I have a security section, security roles, ledger accountant. Yeah, that's the one. Opening designer. And here, as you can see, the list of all the duties. So if we pick one of the duties, let's say tax branch view, all those duties would be listed here as well as a separate artifacts in our AOT. Tax branch view, opening designer. And here you can see the privileges assigned and so on. You can move on, find the privileges as well, see what sort of entry points are there, what sort of permissions and assigned and so on. All the modifications are done through the Visual Studio, are done directly to the AOT object and then compiled into the package which can be deployed to the multiple environments. Modifications which are done through the user interface in here, of course, only will affect one single environment and only will remain in the database. However, it will take into effect immediately without any additional deployments and so on. Now let's talk about segregation of duties. Security or policy may require that specific tasks may be performed by different users. This concept is known as a segregation of duties. And to achieve that, you can set up the rules to separate different tasks that must be performed by different users. This helps reduce the risk of fraud and help you to detect the errors and irregularities. The way it works in Dynamics is simply when the definition of a security role or the role assignment of the user violates the rules, segregation of duty rules, the conflict is logged. So segregation of duty rules, there are a number of forms where you can specify the rules, and in order to validate, there is a job which runs on the background and logs a result onto the segregation of duty conflicts page. After I press OK to run the process, notification displays the results of the validation And if there is any conflict, I can open up the user page and change any user role assignments. And now, last but not least, let's talk about security reports. There is a whole section located here. System administration, inquiries, security, and security reports. So what we have is security role assignments, security role access, role to user assignment, and security duty assignments. The first one, user role assignments report, generates a view of the current user role assignments in your system. The report would look like this, so it's pretty much self-explanatory. A report consists of a number of sections. As you can see, this report lists all the users, and for each user, so let's say Alicia, it provides information about every role this user has, as well as assignment to the organizations. So as we can see, Alicia has access to all the organization for the following roles, except for the manager, where we restricted access to just Contos Entertainment US. The other report is Role to User Assignment Report. This one provides the aggregation of role assignments. This report shows the role first and then the number of users assigned to that role, as well as their organization restrictions. So let's sum up what we discussed today. This video was a quick overview of security architecture in D365 Finance and Operations. We talked about role-based security model and how to customize it to fit the requirement of your business. From my experience, I would like to add that security can be really challenging when significant amount of customization has been done in the application. And in this case, Inside IX Consulting can really help you by providing a quick audit report of your security. We have our special tools and methods to quickly identify those gaps of security and help you to address those issues. Thanks for watching, and please get in touch. Thank you.